All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be talking about something I think a lot of people are interested in, but might not know a whole lot about.
For sure.
We're going to be talking about high quality cannabis
Ooh, yeah.
and how you can judge it like a pro.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you know when you're looking at some cannabis whether it's good or not?
Mm-hmm.
There's so much out there.
Right.
So much information.
So much misinformation.
Yeah.
A lot of snake oil.
So we're gonna be your guide through all the research and all the expert opinions that we found.
We're going to give you the tools to be able to
Exactly.
into any dispensary and be like,
And not be overwhelmed.
I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're not gonna be intimidated
Yeah,
by
yeah,
all
yeah.
the choices and all the different words and stuff.
All the jargon. It can get really confusing.
Yeah, we're gonna try to break it down.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
We're going to make it easy.
So you can confidently choose the best cannabis. We're gonna be talking about what it looks like,
Yeah.
what it smells like,
The aroma.
how strong it is,
The potency.
the texture, and even how to avoid stuff that's bad quality.
Yeah. The stuff you don't want.
Yeah.
We're going to show you how to spot that.
So let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
First up, visual cues.
Oh, yeah.
So just like when you're at the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
your eyes can tell you a lot about how good something is.
Absolutely.
So same with cannabis. You want vibrant colors. You
Yeah.
want, like,
Rich colors.
imagine a really healthy garden or a forest.
Yeah, think of those deep greens. Maybe some purples in there.
Right.
Like an eggplant.
That's a good sign.
Those are signs that this plant was happy.
Yes.
It was healthy.
Yeah, it was well taken care of.
Exactly.
But there's more to it than just the color.
Yeah, there's something else that's super important. Have you ever looked at a cannabis bud and you see that frosty, like sparkly layer on it?
Ooh. Yeah, it's kind of like it was sprinkled with like sugar or something.
Exactly. It's almost like a diamond dust.
Right.
Well, those are called trichomes.
Trichomes.
And they're way more than just pretty to look at.
Okay.
Think of trichomes like they're these tiny factories on the plant.
Interesting.
They're producing all that good stuff.
What good stuff?
You know those cannabinoids and terpenes we hear so much about?
Oh, those are the things that...
Those are the things that make cannabis,
Okay.
the things that give it all its effects and flavors.
So the more trichomes,
Yeah.
the more good stuff.
Generally speaking, that's a good rule of thumb.
Gotcha.
Now, speaking of terpenes,
Okay.
those play a huge role in the aroma of cannabis.
So like the smell.
The smell is so important.
How come?
I'll tell you why I actually learned this lesson the hard way.
Okay.
I was at the dispensary once, and I saw this bud. It was gorgeous.
Mm.
Bright orange hairs, covered in trichomes.
So it looked good.
It looked amazing. I was so excited.
Yeah.
But then I smelled it,
Yeah.
and there was nothing there.
Really?
Barely a whiff.
Wow.
I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
It was like that gorgeous supermodel who just had like zero personality.
So you're saying like even if it looks good,
Yeah.
you gotta...
You gotta smell it.
Yeah.
Because that aroma, that's a sign of a good terpene profile.
Oh, so the terpenes
Yeah.
are what make it smell.
Right. They're responsible for both the smell and the effects you feel.
Okay.
A strong, pleasant aroma, that's a good sign.
Okay.
Usually means the cannabis is fresh
Yeah.
and it's been cured properly.
Okay. So it's been taken care of.
Exactly.
So what if it smells really, really strong?
That's a good question.
Like, is that always good?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
While a strong aroma is usually a good thing,
Yeah.
you also got to pay attention to the type of aroma.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like smelling fruit.
Yeah.
You want that ripe, delicious scent.
Yeah.
You don't want something that's overripe or even moldy.
Right.
So if you smell something unpleasant
Yeah.
or musty,
Like a bad cheese.
yeah, that's a red flag.
Okay. So like if it smells bad, it probably is bad.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. So we've talked about what it looks like.
Yeah.
We talked about what it smells like.
The aroma,
But how about how strong it is?
the potency.
Yeah. How do we figure that out?
Well, when we talk about potency,
Yeah.
we're mainly talking about THC and CBD.
Yeah. Can you give us like a really quick...
A little refresher.
Yeah.
Okay, so THC,
Yeah.
that's the compound that gets you high.
Yeah. That's the one that makes you feel...
Euphoric.
Yeah.
Maybe a little giggly.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like your senses are heightened.
Right.
And, you know, maybe your thoughts get a little
A
weird.
little bit. Yeah.
But CBD, on the other hand,
Yeah.
that's more like the chill friend.
Okay.
It's not going to get you high,
Right.
but it might help you relax,
Yeah.
ease anxiety, maybe even help with some pain.
Okay.
So they each have their own unique effects.
Yeah.
And finding the right balance between them,
Yeah.
that's key to having a good experience.
So it's not always like the higher the THC.
Yeah.
the better?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It really depends on what you're looking for.
Right.
Some people want to just chill out.
Yeah.
They want a lot of CBD
Yeah.
and maybe just a little bit of THC.
Right.
Other people, they're looking for that.
That intense experience.
Yeah, they want to blast off.
So how do you actually know how strong something is?
So to figure out the potency,
Yeah.
we rely on lab test results.
Okay.
Think of lab tests for cannabis,
Yeah.
like the nutrition label on food.
Okay.
They break down exactly how much THC, CBD, and even other cannabinoids are in the product.
Oh, so there's other cannabinoids?
Oh, yeah. There's a whole world of them.
Wow.
We'll get into those a little bit later.
Okay.
But for now, just remember those lab tests.
Yeah.
Those are your friends.
Okay, so lab tests important.
Super important.
All right, so we've talked about what it looks like, what it smells like,
The aroma.
and now how strong it is.
The potency.
So now how about,
What about the feel?
yeah, like the texture?
Yeah, does that matter?
Does that matter?
It totally does.
Really?
Think about it like baking a cake.
Okay.
You want that perfect crumb.
Yeah.
You don't want something too dense
Right.
or too dry.
Okay.
It's all about finding the sweet spot.
So what is the sweet spot?
When it comes to cannabis,
Yeah.
you want something that's sticky,
Yeah.
but not too wet.
Okay.
Firm, but not crumbly.
Yeah.
Imagine like a perfectly baked loaf of bread.
Okay.
It should have a little give,
Yeah.
but still hold its shape.
Okay, so if it's like too dry
Yeah.
or too moist, that's a bad sign.
That's not a good sign.
Okay.
Too dry means it might have been cured poorly
Yeah.
or stored improperly.
Okay.
And the smoke is probably going to be harsh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if it's too moist,
Yeah.
you run the risk of mold.
Oh, yeah.
And you definitely don't want that.
No moldy cannabis.
Nobody wants moldy cannabis.
Okay, so not too dry,
Yeah.
not too moist.
Not too moist, just right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
But before we move on, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier
Okay.
about buying from reputable sources.
Yes.
Because all this stuff about judging quality, it only really matters if you're starting with something good.
Yeah, you got to have a good foundation.
Exactly.
You're right.
So how do you know?
So how can you tell?
Yeah, how can we as consumers know that we're buying from a place that we can trust?
Well, sadly, not all cannabis is created equal.
Yeah.
There are still some shady people out there.
No.
They cut corners.
Yeah.
They don't care about quality.
So how do we avoid those people?
So one of the biggest red flags
Yeah.
is a lack of transparency.
What does that mean?
So if a dispensary is hesitant to share their lab test results.
Oh, interesting. Or they don't want to tell you about how they grow their cannabis.
Yeah.
That's a warning sign.
Oh, okay.
You have the right to know what you're
Yeah,
buying.
Yeah, I like that.
It's like choosing a restaurant.
Yeah.
If they don't want to show you the kitchen,
Right.
you might want to think twice.
Okay.
You want a place that's clean,
Yeah.
organized.
Yeah.
They have a knowledgeable staff.
Yeah.
People who are passionate about cannabis
Yeah.
and want to help you find the right product.
So it's not just about the product itself.
No.
It's about the whole experience.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I think we've laid a good foundation here
I think so.
for what to look for in high-quality cannabis.
We've planted the seeds
We've planted the seeds,
for your cannabis journey.
but there's a lot more to it.
Oh, yeah. We're just getting started.
So stay tuned
That's correct. Wait.
for part 2 of this deep dive,
We're going to go even deeper.
where we're going to get up close and personal with those trichomes
Yeah, we're going to zoom in.
and dive into the fascinating world of terpenes.
Those aromatic powerhouses.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to our deep dive into high-quality cannabis.
We're ready to get even deeper.
Yeah, we're going to take a closer look at those trichomes.
Yeah. Yeah, those frosty little wonders.
They're not just there to make the bud look pretty.
Definitely not. They're actually super important.
Okay.
Trichomes are like tiny little factories on the plant,
Interesting.
and they're producing all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that before, the cannabinoids and terpenes.
Exactly. Those are what make cannabis. Cannabis.
So the more trichomes,
Yeah.
the more good stuff.
Generally speaking, yeah. You want a bud that's covered in trichomes.
Okay.
It's kind of like looking at a field of strawberries.
Okay, yeah.
Look at the ones that are bursting with that juicy red color.
Yeah,
Those are the ripe ones.
yeah.
Same with trichomes. The more, the merrier.
Okay, that makes sense. But I gotta be honest, when you start talking about different types of trichomes,
Yeah.
it gets a little intimidating.
I know it can seem complicated.
Like, how am I supposed to know one from another?
Don't worry, you don't need a microscope to appreciate trichomes.
Okay, good.
The main thing to remember
Yeah.
is that those sparkly, mushroom-shaped ones
Mm-hmm.
with the long stalks,
Okay.
those are the ones that pack the biggest punch.
Okay, why is that?
They're called capitate-stalked trichomes.
That's a mouthful.
I know, right? But they're loaded with cannabinoids and terpenes.
So those are the ones we really want to see.
Those are the VIPs of the trichome world.
Okay, gotcha. So let's switch gears for a second and talk about those terpenes.
Yeah, those aromatic powerhouses.
Yeah, they're responsible for the smell,
Right.
but also for the effects.
It's amazing how they can create such a wide range of aromas and effects.
I know, it's like a whole world of scent and sensation.
It really is.
So can we talk about some specific terpenes?
Sure, let's start with mycene.
Mycene.
That's one of the most common terpenes found in cannabis.
Okay.
It has this earthy, musky aroma.
Okay.
Some people describe it as clove-like.
Interesting.
Mycene is often associated with relaxing and sedative effects.
So if I'm looking for something to help me unwind after a long day,
Yeah,
mycene's a good one to look for.
it could be, yeah. But remember, cannabis is complex.
Right.
The effects you experience,
Yeah.
they're influenced by a lot of different things.
Like what?
The specific blend of cannabinoids and terpenes,
Okay.
your own individual body chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
even your mindset can play a role.
So it's not as simple as just like
Right.
picking a terpene and expecting a specific result.
Exactly. It's more like a dance
Interesting.
between your body and the plant's chemistry.
Okay.
It's an exploration.
So what other terpenes should we know about?
Well, if you're looking for a little mood boost,
Okay.
limon might be your new best friend.
Limon.
Yeah, it's the terpene that gives citrus fruits their bright, zesty aroma.
Oh, so like a lemon or an orange?
Exactly.
Oh.
Limon is often associated with uplifting and energizing effects.
Okay, so if mycene is for Netflix and chill, limon is for like dancing in the kitchen.
Yeah, maybe while you're cooking dinner.
I like that.
All right. And then we have pine.
Pine.
As the name suggests, it has that wonderful pine forest aroma.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it's thought to promote alertness and even enhance memory.
Really?
Some people find it helpful for focusing
Okay.
and getting things done.
So it's like a little boost for your brain.
You could say that. It's like a breath of fresh air for your mind.
Now, what about if you're dealing with some aches and pains?
Ah, for that, you might want to look for caryophyllene.
Caryophyllene.
It has this warm, spicy aroma, almost like black pepper or cloves.
Interesting.
And it's known for its potential anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay. So it could help with pain relief.
It might, yeah. A lot of people find it helpful.
So caryophyllene is like nature's heating pad.
That's a great way to think about it.
What other terpenes are there?
Well, there's linalool.
Linalool.
It's known for its calming and relaxing effects. And it has a beautiful floral aroma.
Nice.
You'll find it in lavender and other fragrant flowers.
So it's like aromatherapy.
Exactly.
Mm.
Some people use linalool to help with sleep and anxiety relief.
So linalool is like a warm bath with lavender essential oils.
Precisely. Now remember, these are just a few of the many terpenes
Right.
that are found in cannabis.
Yeah, there's so many.
And just like a chef blends spices to create complex flavors,
Yeah.
different cannabis strains combine these terpenes in unique ways
Okay.
to create a symphony of aromas and effects.
I like that, a symphony of aromas and effects.
It's beautiful, really.
So if we want to experience these terpenes, how should we consume cannabis?
Oh, that's a great question.
Like, does the method matter?
It does. It really comes down to personal preference
Okay.
and the desired effects,
Okay.
smoking or vaporizing.
Yeah.
Those methods allow you to experience the full spectrum of terpenes
Okay, how come?
almost immediately because the heat releases those aromatic compounds.
Oh, so it's like getting a front row seat to the terpene show.
You got it.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a more discrete experience,
Okay.
something longer lasting,
Yeah.
edibles or tinctures
Mm-hmm.
might be a better option.
Okay, what's the difference there?
Well, with edibles and tinctures,
Yeah.
the effects can take a bit longer to kick in
Okay.
because the cannabinoids and terpenes,
Yeah.
they have to be processed by your digestive system first.
Oh, so they got to go through your whole system.
Exactly. It's a longer journey for them.
Okay, so how do we know which terpenes are in a particular product?
That's where those lab test results come in handy again.
Oh, right. The cannabis decoder rings.
Exactly. Reputable dispensaries will provide those lab tests,
Okay.
and they'll list the dominant terpenes that are present.
Oh, so I don't have to, like, be a scientist and smell it and figure it out?
Well, some experienced cannabis connoisseurs,
Yeah.
they can often pick up on certain terpenes just by the aroma.
Wow.
But for most of us,
Yeah.
those lab tests are the most reliable way.
So trichomes and terpenes, they're both important for judging quality.
They're the dynamic duo of cannabis quality.
But all this only really matters
Okay.
if we're buying from a good source, right?
You're absolutely right. You could analyze trichomes all day long
Yeah.
and memorize every terpene profile.
Right.
But if you're buying from a shady source,
Yeah.
it's not going to matter.
So how can we protect ourselves?
Well, a big red flag
Yeah.
is a lack of transparency.
Yeah, you mentioned that before.
If a dispensary is hesitant
Yeah.
to share their lab test results,
Yeah.
or they don't want to tell you about their growing practices,
Okay.
that's a bad sign.
So they should be upfront about everything.
They should be proud to show off how they grow their cannabis.
Okay, I like that.
It's like choosing a doctor.
Okay.
You want someone who takes the time to understand your needs
Yeah.
and guide you towards the best choices for your health.
So it's not just about the product.
No.
It's about the whole experience.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I think we've laid a solid foundation here for understanding those trichomes and those terpenes.
Those crucial components of cannabis quality.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Potency.
Potency.
That's a big one.
It's a biggie.
So stay tuned for part 3.
I could break it all down.
Where we'll dive deep into the world of potency and lab testing.
And we'll give you the tools you need
Yeah.
to understand those THC percentages and make informed decisions about the cannabis you choose.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive.
We're in the home stretch now.
Yeah, and we saved the best for last potency.
Ooh, yeah, the big one.
Yeah, how strong is this stuff?
That's what we're talking about when we say potency.
Okay.
It's all about those cannabinoids.
Right. THC and CBD.
Those are the main players for sure.
Can you remind us again what they do?
Yeah, so THC, that's the one that gets you high.
Yeah.
Makes you feel euphoric,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little giggly,
Yeah.
makes those colors seem brighter. Music sounds amazing.
Right.
And your thoughts, they might go on little adventures of their own.
Okay, so that's THC.
Mm-hmm.
What about CBD?
CBD is more like the chill friend.
Okay.
It's not going to get you high, but it might help you relax, ease anxiety, maybe even help with some pain.
So it's like two sides of the same coin.
You could say that.
Okay, so how do we know how strong something is?
That's where lab test results come in.
Oh, yeah. We talked about those before.
Those are your best friend when it comes to understanding potency.
Okay, so they break down exactly how much THC and CBD is in a product.
Exactly. They give you the numbers.
So is there like a magic number?
When it comes to potency,
Yeah, like what's considered high potency?
it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
Everyone's different.
Right.
But generally speaking, flower with a THC content above 20% is considered pretty potent.
Okay.
But for concentrates,
Yeah, what are those?
like oils and waxes,
Oh, okay.
the THC levels can be way higher,
How high are we talking?
sometimes even exceeding 50%.
Oh.
Yeah, that's some strong stuff.
So should I be looking for the highest percentage possible?
Not necessarily.
Okay. It really depends on what you're looking for
Right.
and your own tolerance level.
Okay, so like some people might be more sensitive.
Exactly. What might be a mellow experience for one person could send someone else to the moon.
I like that. To the moon. So start low and slow.
Yes, especially if you're new to cannabis,
Okay.
and gradually explore different potencies to see what feels right for you.
So it's all about finding what works for you.
Exactly. It's a personal journey.
Okay, and what about those other cannabinoids we talked about?
Oh, yeah, there's a whole world beyond THC and CBD.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, for example, there's CBG.
CBG.
That's cannabidiol. It's considered the mother of all cannabinoids.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the precursor to both THC and CBD.
Okay.
CBG is thought to have some really cool potential benefits,
Like what?
like reducing inflammation and even promoting bone growth.
Wow. So even though it's not as well known as THC or CBD, it could be just as important.
Exactly. There's so much more to this plant than we realize.
What else is there? Well, there's CBN. That's cannabidiol.
Okay.
It's formed as THC ages,
Interesting.
and it's often associated with sedative effects.
Oh.
So it might help you sleep.
So CBN is for bedtime.
It could be. And then there's THCV.
THCV. That's a new one.
That one's interesting because it seems to have some opposing effects to THC.
What do you mean?
So in low doses,
Yeah.
THCV can actually suppress appetite and reduce the psychoactive effects of THC.
So it can actually make you less high.
Yeah, it's kind of like the responsible sibling.
I like that. It keeps THC in check.
Exactly. And there are so many more cannabinoids out there.
Wow, it's incredible.
We're still learning about all the different ways they can interact with our bodies.
Well, I think we've learned a lot in this deep dive.
I agree. We covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, from trichomes and terpenes to potency and lab testing.
It's all about empowering you
Yeah.
to make informed choices about the cannabis you consume.
So remember, folks, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Do your research.
Ask questions
Yeah,
and trust your senses.
exactly. And most importantly, enjoy the journey.
Cheers to that.
That's it for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
That's for joining us.